First contact predators. The crystalline vessel of the Galactic Confederation descended through Earth's atmosphere in a display of shimmering lights that captivated global audiences. 23 distinct alien civilizations, each with millennia of interstellar travel experience, expected humanity to cower in primitive awe. Instead, they'd found a world prepared. Captain Maya Reeves stood at the designated landing zone, her posture relaxed yet perfectly balanced. The 5 individuals flanking her, each selected from specialized military units, wore tailored diplomatic attire that concealed both scars and enhanced musculature. The United Nations Security Council had made an unprecedented decision when the Confederation requested Earth's diplomatic representatives send predators, not politicians. "Atmospheric composition analysis complete," murmured Lieutenant Kwan, her dark eyes scanning data through augmented contact lenses. "Their life support is calibrated for oxygen breathers, but with higher carbon dioxide tolerance. Suggests evolutionary adaptation to dense vegetation or slower metabolic rates." Maya nodded almost imperceptibly. Herbivores or omnivores with herbivore ancestors, not apex predators. The ship's main portal dilated open with theatrical slowness, revealing a delegation of alien beings. Leading them was Ambassador Nexel, a towering figure with iridescent scales and 4 arms that moved with deliberate grace. Behind him stood representatives from 5 other species, some bipedal, others with more exotic anatomies, all sharing one common trait. Their eyes darted nervously, scanning surroundings with the caution of creatures evolved from prey. "Welcome to Earth," Maya said, her smile calculated, friendly enough for diplomacy but restrained enough to hide her canines. "We're looking forward to productive negotiations." Ambassador Nexel's translator processed her words with a slight delay. "The Confederation extends greetings to humanity. Your species has advanced remarkably quickly. Most achieve spaceflight after at least 12 millennia of civilization." "We're motivated learners," responded Lieutenant Kwan, her stance shifting subtly as artificial gravity engaged inside the ship. The team had boarded with ceremonial politeness, but their eyes cataloged every detail: escape routes, defensive positions, potential weapons, with unconscious precision. The Confederation vessel was a marvel of biotechnological engineering, its corridors lined with living tissue that adjusted temperature and lighting automatically. While first contact species typically displayed childlike wonder at such technology, the humans simply observed, their expressions betraying nothing more than polite interest. "We've prepared environments suitable for your physiology," announced Sub-Ambassador Telvac, a being with translucent skin revealing complex circulatory systems. "Our analysis suggests your species requires significant rest periods and controlled temperatures." Lieutenant Commander Harris, who had once survived 2 weeks in the Sahara with nothing but a knife, smiled politely. "We adapt to most environments. Perhaps we might see your primary propulsion systems. We're particularly interested in your faster-than-light technology." The alien diplomatic corps exchanged concerned glances, unprepared for visitors who asked about restricted systems rather than accepting the carefully curated tour designed to impress primitive species. "First, perhaps orientation and refreshment," suggested Ambassador Nexel, directing them toward a chamber where exotic foods from dozens of worlds awaited presentation. "Cultural exchange is traditional before technical discussions." Maya inclined her head in perfect diplomatic courtesy, but her team had already mapped 3 alternative routes to the engine room. "Of course, Ambassador. We're eager to learn about Confederation customs." Her pupils contracted slightly as she cataloged the room's surveillance systems. The grand reception hall of the Confederation station hung with whispered commentary as Maya's team entered. Holographic interfaces blinked with sociobiological analyses labeling humans as curiosity species and pre-interstellar technological adolescents. Ambassador Nexel, towering over the human delegation, deliberately activated a gravity field that made most junior species stumble. Maya's team adjusted their gait instantly, moving through the intensified gravity with predatory grace that sent ripples of unease through the watching aliens. When offered neural translator implants, Lieutenant Kwan politely declined in 14 distinct alien languages, learned in mere weeks of preparation. During the formal reception, Maya stood perfectly still for 4 hours, an unnerving display for species who evolved from creatures that froze only when hiding from predators. The Confederation representatives began to whisper among themselves. They refuse refreshments, a Zithian aide murmured to his superior. And the one called Harris hasn't blinked in 30 minutes. By evening's end, Maya's team had constructed a complete socio-political map of the Confederation's power structure. While the aliens still debated whether humans should be classified as herbivores or omnivores, the team began Phase 2 of their mission. A second day brought formal presentations. Each species showcased achievements spanning millennia: atmospheric transformation projects, artificial star creation, gravity manipulation. When Earth's turn arrived, the assembly expected primitive displays of rocket technology or basic particle physics. Instead, Lieutenant Kwan stepped forward with a holographic display showing Earth's evolutionary timeline. While our technological progress interests you, we believe our biological development may be more relevant to diplomatic relations. The display showed early hominids developing tool use, but focused on something the aliens found disturbing: persistence hunting. Footage of humans running down prey across scorching plains caused the herbivorous Zithian representatives to shudder visibly. Most predator species on Earth are ambush hunters, Kwan explained, her voice clinically precise. Humans evolved differently. We lack natural weapons, but developed endurance beyond any other land mammal. The hologram shifted to show ultramarathon runners, Arctic explorers, and deep-sea freedivers. Humans pushing physiological limits that would kill most species. Our diplomatic approach, Kwan concluded, reflects our evolutionary heritage. She met Ambassador Nexel's gaze directly, a challenge no junior species had offered in 800 years of Confederation history. That evening, security specialist Ortega noticed surveillance devices in their quarters. 23 different varieties, each designed for specific biosignatures. She signaled the team silently, fingers tapping against her thigh in patterns learned during covert operations on Earth. Maya nodded imperceptibly and continued the diplomatic briefing at normal volume, while Communications Officer Torres activated a miniature quantum scrambler disguised as a wristband. "They're categorizing us incorrectly," Maya murmured, voice barely audible even to enhanced human hearing. "Herbivore social patterns with technological aptitude. They expect us to be intimidated by displays of force, but impressed by technology." Classic prey response. Ambassador Nexel showed 3 distinct dominance displays during the reception. Kwan agreed. They expect submission. "And the Craxus delegation?" asked Ortega, referring to a reptilian species whose representatives had watched the humans with unblinking vertical pupilled eyes. "Watching us differently," Maya responded. "Predator species. Potential ally." Lieutenant Commander Harris' expression remained neutral. "I accessed their databanks during the tour. The Galactic Enhancement Initiative they mentioned. It's a euphemism for systematic resource extraction from developing worlds." The team exchanged glances, their expressions hardening. "This isn't first contact," Torres added, showing data retrieved from encrypted Confederation archives. "It's a hunting party. They're here to assess Earth's defenses before implementing resource claims." Maya's expression remained unchanged, but her team recognized the slight narrowing of her eyes, a look they'd seen before high-risk operations. "They expect us to be primitive but curious herbivores," she said finally. "Tomorrow, they learn why Earth evolved apex predators instead of diplomats." "Access denied," flashed the holographic interface as Ortega pressed her palm against it. She smiled. A challenge, not a setback. While the Confederation representatives slept during the station's night cycle, Maya's team moved. Torres hacked into the quantum data network using techniques that shouldn't work on alien technology, but did because human pattern recognition evolved to track prey across shifting terrain. In a forgotten server room, They discovered the complete Galactic Enhancement Initiative, a euphemism for systematically stripping developing worlds of resources. Holographic projections showed Earth's oceans drained of rare elements within decades, its atmosphere adjusted for optimal mining conditions, its population relegated to designated habitation zones. "This isn't their first time," whispered Quan, discovering records of 13 previously contacted civilizations now serving as client states with depleted homeworlds. As the dawn cycle began, the aliens found the human delegation in the communal dining hall, appearing refreshed and making polite conversation about cultural exchange. Only Maya's slightly reddened knuckles, from forcing open a security door, hinted at their night's activities. "Humans are so charmingly enthusiastic about technology," a Zithian diplomat commented condescendingly, like younglings seeing light for the first time. Below the table, Ortega's hand tightened around a data crystal containing enough evidence to shatter the Confederation's facade of benevolence. That afternoon, a reptilian figure approached Maya in a garden chamber, Ambassador Shrivix of the Craxus Dominion. "My species evolved as pack hunters on a world of titans," he said, voice a low rumble that bypassed the translator. "We recognize the walk of fellow predators. Your people didn't evolve from prey animals who learned to use tools. You're something else entirely." His vertical pupils dilated slightly. "And I believe we should talk about the Confederation's real intentions for Earth. The hunt begins." "Impossible," insisted the Zithian chief of security, his translucent epidermis flushed with stress indicators. The containment fields were operating at full capacity. No biological entity could bypass them. Yet the security footage told a different story. Ambassador Nexel studied the fragmented recordings, his inner membranes pulsing with agitation. The holographic display showed Captain Maya Reeves suspended between two maintenance shafts, her body contorted in a position that would shatter the exoskeleton of any Confederation species. For 17 seconds, she remained motionless while a security drone passed beneath her. Perfect predatory stillness. "This changes our assessment," Nexel admitted reluctantly. "They're not simply primitive beings with unusual physical capabilities. Hunters," supplied the security chief. "Like the Craxus, but without the evolutionary specializations. They should have physical limitations that prevent this level of adaptation." "Run a full biometric analysis on station night air filtration," Nexel ordered. "I want to know how they regulated their thermal signatures to evade detection." Meanwhile, in the station's central arboretum, a neutral space designed to accommodate all Confederation species, Maya sat across from Ambassador Shrivix of the Craxus Dominion, the only other predator species in the assembly. "You were testing their security parameters," Shrivix observed, scaled ridges rising in what Maya now recognized as appreciation. "Impressive for a species with no exoskeletal advantages." "Evolutionary pressures take different forms," Maya replied. "We developed problem-solving and adaptability instead of specialized biological weapons." "The Confederation doesn't understand," Shrivix continued, reptilian eyes narrowing. "They think in terms of territorial defense and resource accumulation. They've never experienced the hunt. And the Craxus have. For millions of years before we developed technology, we recognize the patterns. Your species moves like something that evolved to track, pursue, and capture. The stillness before action. The coordinated group tactics." Shrivix leaned forward. "Tell me, Captain, what does Earth truly want from this encounter?" Maya's expression remained diplomatically neutral, but her eyes held the focused intensity unique to human predators. "Equitable participation, not exploitation disguised as assistance. We found the Enhancement Initiative files." Shrivix nodded. "You did. And now?" "Now we negotiate as equals, or we demonstrate why Earth's apex predators don't need technological advantages to reshape galactic politics." The next morning, Maya's team discovered their quarters sealed by energy fields. The Confederation announced, "For your safety, human delegates are restricted to residential quarters until further notice." The Zithians believed the matter settled. a miscalculation that would reshape galactic politics. 3 hours into the artificial night cycle, Maya's team disappeared from sensor monitoring. The station's security system, designed to track heat signatures of all known species, could not follow humans who could control their body temperature through precise biological regulation, an evolutionary trait from persistence hunting. Station security captured only fragments of their movement, Quan swimming through a coolant channel that would freeze most species solid, Ortega navigating a shaft filled with toxic gas by holding her breath for 9 minutes. Torres and Harris moving in perfect coordination to evade motion sensors. When cornered by security drones in the Central Archives, the humans demonstrated why Earth's apex predators had dominated their world. Operating on minimal sleep and without food for 36 hours, they moved with the fluid precision of creatures whose ancestors chased prey until its heart gave out. Armed only with improvised tools, they disabled security systems designed to contain militarized species. The security footage spread through the station's clandestine networks, not as a warning, but as something approaching horror. Maintenance workers found Captain Maya in her quarters the next morning, appearing to have never left, calmly reviewing Confederation history on a datavad. That afternoon, Ambassador Nexel confronted her directly, flanked by security drones. "Your team's activities last night constitute a serious breach of diplomatic protocol," he began, his translator struggling to convey the appropriate level of outrage. "What activities?" Maya asked innocently. "We've been confined to quarters, as instructed." She stood, and despite being nearly 2 feet shorter than the Confederation ambassador, something in her posture made him step back. The security drones shifted nervously, their targeting systems activating automatically in response to perceived threat patterns. "We've been reviewing your enhancement initiative," Maya continued, her voice pleasant but unyielding, "particularly the sections regarding resource extraction from Earth. Did you know our oceans contain 63 elements crucial to your biotechnology? Quite the prize for your collection." Nexel's inner membranes flushed with alarm patterns. "Those files are highly classified." "Were classified," corrected Lieutenant Quan, stepping forward with a data crystal. "We've transmitted copies to Earth government channels, along with technical specifications for your defensive systems." This was partially a bluff. They'd only managed to transmit fragments of data, but the aliens couldn't know that. "You appear to have mistaken our intentions," Nexel protested, his posture shifting to conciliation. "The enhancement initiative is designed to benefit developing species, like the 13 worlds now classified as resource-depleted client states," interrupted Lieutenant Commander Harris. "We observed the pattern. Initial contact, technological exchange, resource assessment, then systematic extraction until the planet is stripped of valuable elements." Ambassador Shrivix of the Kraxis entered the chamber, followed by representatives from 3 other species. "The Kraxis Dominion has long questioned Confederation extraction policies," he announced formally. "We find ourselves aligned with Earth's concerns." The chamber erupted in multilingual chaos as alliance structures that had held for centuries began to fracture. Species that had quietly suffered under Confederation resource policies saw an opportunity in the humans' defiance. When order finally resumed, Maya stood at the center of the chamber, her team positioned strategically around her. The security drones had withdrawn to the periphery, their threat assessment algorithms confused by creatures that displayed neither fear nor aggression, but something more dangerous: patient calculation. "Earth proposes a new framework for galactic cooperation," Maya stated, her voice carrying clearly through the vast space. "One based on mutual benefit rather than exploitation. We are prepared to share technological innovations, cultural exchange, and yes, reasonable resource access." She paused, letting her gaze sweep across the assembled representatives. "But understand this. Humanity evolved as pursuit predators on a world where cooperation and adaptability determine survival. We prefer peaceful relations, but we are prepared for alternatives." The implied threat hung in the air, made more potent by its subtlety. What guarantee could your primitive species possibly offer that would reassure the Confederation? Demanded a Zithian counselor. Torres stepped forward, activating a holographic display showing the Knight's infiltration route through the station's supposedly impenetrable security systems. Consider what 6 humans accomplished in one night cycle, with improvised tools and without violence, Maya replied evenly. Now imagine what billions of us could do if genuinely threatened. 3 days of intensive negotiations followed. The Craxus and 4 other species formally aligned with Earth, creating a new power block within the Confederation. The original Enhancement Initiative was dismantled, replaced with collaborative research projects and regulated resource exchanges that respected planetary sovereignty. On the final day, as the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, Ambassador Shrivix approached Maya in the departure bay. "The herbivores are still discussing what happened," he said, mandibles clicking in amusement. "They can't comprehend how a species without natural weapons or defenses could so thoroughly disrupt their carefully constructed power systems." Maya smiled, this time allowing her canines to show. They made a fundamental error in their assessment of humanity. Which was? They thought we sent diplomats. Her eyes gleamed with the focused intelligence of an apex predator. Earth doesn't have diplomats. We have hunters who learn to wear suits. As the human delegation's shuttle departed the Confederation station, the Galactic News Network broadcast the historic treaty signing across 23 worlds. The commentators marveled at humanity's unprecedented rapid acceptance into galactic politics. None mentioned the classified security footage that had spread through government channels. Images of humans moving through supposedly impenetrable barriers, adapting to toxic environments, and demonstrating the patience of creatures evolved to outlast their prey. In the centuries that followed, the phrase "sending humans" became galactic shorthand for deploying uniquely effective problem solvers. Nexel's official report to the Confederation Council contained a warning that would define interstellar relations for generations. Do not mistake their smiles for submission. When humans negotiate, they are not seeking compromise. They are stalking consensus with the relentless persistence of creatures who evolve to chase prey until its heart gives out. They do not need to be the strongest, fastest, or most technologically advanced species in the room. They simply need to be the last one standing. The stars had witnessed the rise and fall of 1,000 civilizations, but none had seen anything quite like humanity. A species that combined the cooperative social structures of prey animals with the calculating patience of apex predators. The galaxy would never be the same.